Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL Week number 15 picks and predictions, where I predict the final score of every NFL game. And we finally are done with the bye weeks. It's a full slate with 3 Saturday games. It's jam-packed, guys. Let's get right into it. Starting with San Francisco, traveling to Seattle. This is a divisional battle here with Brock Purdy. Deebo Samuel, of course, out for this game. And guys, right now, Seattle 3.5-point underdogs. I like them plus 3.5, but no more. Right now, I cannot bet against San Francisco, even with the Deebo Samuel injury. They have too much talent. They're playing too well. Their defense is shutting everyone down. Geno Smith last week, not very good at home in a loss to Carolina. So I do like Seattle plus the 3.5, but if it gets bet down to 3 or 2.5, I would steer clear of it because I don't trust Seattle overall right now. And even with, the third string quarterback, Brock Purdy, they've been playing so well. Even without Deebo Samuel, you've still got Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey on that offense. It just feels like originally I actually picked Seattle to win this game in an upset, but looking back, I cannot do it. San Francisco is too good. Their defense is playing too good. Thursday night game, they beat Seattle by 3 on the road. Moving to the Saturday games, this is a 1 o'clock game. Indianapolis traveling to Minnesota. Of course, Minnesota coming off that loss last week. They've got a crazy situation where they're 10-3, but their point differential is like 0. So it is crazy. But I think this is the time to go in on Minnesota in a home matchup against a team that really can't move the ball, even with Matt Ryan. I will take Minnesota to cover this spread. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, over 200 yards last week. Kirk Cousins. I guess this really isn't prime time. 1 o'clock. I know it's a standalone game, but they're at home. They're going to get back on track. They're due for a sizable win in my mind against an Indianapolis team who is just simply outgunned in this game. 31-20. I've got it in a dome with Minnesota bouncing back. The 4:30 Saturday game, the second game of the doubleheader, a divisional matchup. It is Baltimore traveling to Cleveland. Lamar Jackson, they already said, probably not coming back until week 16, so he's going to be out for this game. Guys, I absolutely love the Cleveland Browns -3. Deshaun Watson's first home game. He had a nice little, connection with Donovan Peoples-Jones, who had 114 yards. Amari Cooper was a game-time decision last week. He should be getting more healthy. You've still got Nick Chubb, who had a down week last week. He's going to bounce back and be ready for a good rushing performance. Baltimore won last week. I understand that. I said they would cover the spread in Pittsburgh. I didn't think they would win, but they did end up winning with their defense. They have a good defense, I understand, but this week it's not going to happen. They were able to weather the storm without Lamar Jackson, but they're going to lose this game in Cleveland, and Cleveland will cover the 3-point spread, and I do like the over 37.5 because I think Deshaun Watson at home is going to have a decent enough game. Maybe 2 or 3 passing touchdowns along with Nick Chubb, possibly with a rushing touchdown, and the Browns win this game and cover and stay within at least shouting distance, possibly, of trying to get back into the playoff mix. Next, we have Miami traveling to Buffalo. This is the 8:15 Saturday night game, and it is a pretty crazy spread. 7.5 seems like good value on Miami, and I originally thought that too, but then I actually did some deep thinking, and now, guys, I actually think Buffalo, a team that hasn't covered their last 3 home spreads, I think they cover this spread with Josh Allen. Josh has been better recently with the turnovers. He's not throwing interceptions, but he really hasn't had that breakout 4-touchdown game. I think it happens in this one. Miami is a team, you can make the argument, Tua's not going to be this bad. He's going to turn it around, and I would agree, but I don't think it happens this week. Not in the cold weather environment. You're a warm weather team. For Tua, I don't think so. I think Tua has another kind of rough game here, and Buffalo surprisingly covers the 7.5. I already know the general public is going to be on Miami plus the 7.5, but I do feel strong about Buffalo for whatever reason covering this spread in that one. Moving to the Sunday 1 o'clock games, Philadelphia traveling to Chicago. The Bears coming off the bye. Justin Fields possibly getting a little bit more healthy. How about the line in this one? Philadelphia -9. And right now, I just can't pick against Philadelphia. They're crushing everyone. Jalen Hurts. To me, Jalen has a little bit of a one-year wonder kind of vibe. But he's had a great year, no doubt about it. He's definitely in the MVP race. And I think right now with Philadelphia and this offense, get out of the way or get run over. They are a train right now, and they're going to win this game, in my opinion, and cover the spread against the Chicago team that really is just so incomplete. They're losing these games. Honestly, they're probably happy because they're going to get a better draft pick, and they can get an elite offensive tackle, receiver, or maybe a very solid run-stuffing defensive end. Next, we have Atlanta traveling to New Orleans. So Atlanta will be starting Desmond Ridder, so it does make this game a little bit harder to predict. But I like the over in this game, and I like New Orleans to score a little bit, getting healthier. They just had their bye in week number 14. So I like New Orleans. Kind of harder to predict here with Atlanta starting a rookie, but I do think it's relatively safe right now, -4, because Desmond Ridder is making his first start. Could he come out and light the world on fire? I guess. Is it likely? No. Also, New Orleans could struggle, but at home, their offense does seem to fare a little bit better. So I see Chris Olave scoring a touchdown. If you've got a prop bet out there, I would go over half a touchdown for Chris Olave. He hasn't scored in a while, and he's due, in my opinion. So I'll take New Orleans in that one. We got a little AFC, NFC. It is Detroit traveling to the Jets. Guys, this is another game I feel extremely confident about. The Jets are going to win this game. This game is a pick'em. Detroit going into cold weather. They're a dome team. They play way better at home. Mike White. Yes, the Jets have lost their past 2 games with Mike White starting. He's been good. He's got a really good chemistry situation right now with Garrett Wilson. I see Garrett Wilson going for at least 100 yards in this game against the bad Detroit team, especially defense, and Jared Goff, who's kind of a warm weather / dome quarterback. He's going to struggle in the cold in this one. I love the Jets. Pick them to win that game. Next, we have Pittsburgh traveling to Carolina. So Pittsburgh dealing with that Kenny Pickett injury. You never know with those head injuries. I think that's what it was. They're going to try and be real careful about that because of what happened with Tua. Carolina got a big win last week, but if you actually look at Carolina, the injury to DJ Moore, Sam Darnold was really not that good in this game. That's why the spread in this game kind of surprises me, even with the Kenny Pickett injury. I see Pittsburgh winning this game, straight up 20-17, lower scoring game, obviously. I'm guessing the over-under's in the high 30s in this one, but I will take Pittsburgh to bounce back. We've kind of been able to read Pittsburgh really well. I was in on them for a few weeks. Then last week I said they were overvalued when they were 3-point favorites versus Baltimore, and we completely nailed it. And now I'm saying they're 2-point underdogs. Go back in on Pittsburgh in this one. They will win that game outright. Next, we have Dallas traveling to Jacksonville. Number 1, let me just say, I love the over in this game. Number 2, I love Jacksonville to win a crazy game. Dallas is due for a loss. They had a really bad performance at home against Houston. You've got a guy like Trevor Lawrence. Really, like I said, this is the narrative surrounding Trevor Lawrence. At the end of this season, we will, talk about Trevor Lawrence being a franchise quarterback. He's going on his run right now. He's starting to get real confidence. The over will hit in this game. Jacksonville plus 4.5 is stealing against the Dallas team with a banged up offensive line. Dak Prescott is prone to turnovers as well. On the road, Dallas will score. It'll be a higher scoring game, but Jacksonville will win in a crazy kind of crazy fashion. That's just the vibe I'm getting on that one. Next, we have Kansas City traveling to Houston. So last week, Kansas City doesn't cover in Denver. Houston does cover and almost win. and almost win. And guys, I see kind of things, balancing in terms of this game. This is a game Kansas City will cover. Houston, after covering last week, they're not going to cover, even though they are 14-point home underdogs. They're still really bad. Let's not overreact to 1 week where they did play well against Dallas. Don't get me wrong. I will take Kansas City winning this game big, getting back on track 31-10. Although I will say Kansas City did win last week, but I just think this will be a relatively easier victory for them, and they'll actually cover this spread. Moving to the 4 o'clock games, you have Arizona traveling to Denver. So the quarterback situation in this game, my goodness, you've got Kyler Murray very likely out for the year. You've got Russell Wilson dealing with an injury as well. Both of these teams not making the playoffs. This is a pretty much meaningless game. I do think there's a much higher incentive for Arizona to lose this game based on the fact that they do own their first round pick. Denver doesn't. So there's really no reason for them to try and lose or to be discouraged. So I'll take Denver at home. The overall spread on this game really hasn't come out since the Kyler Murray injury last night, so I don't know what the spread is going to be, but I'll just say I don't really know. I've got it at Denver -1. I think Arizona was 2-point favorites before the injury, so obviously it's going to move pretty significantly, but I think Denver at home against a backup in Colt McCoy, who isn't bad. But Denver's at home in the altitude, probably relatively cold, in the 30s very likely, against a dome team, warm weather team. I'll take them going up against Arizona and their backup quarterback. Next, we have New England traveling to Vegas. So the Patriots, very impressive last night. I will say, Kyler did get injured, so it was a backup, but still, good win for the Patriots. And Mac Jones really plays better on the road against the Raiders team, who's just completely reeling. They're officially out of it. I think this is Derek Carr's last few starts with Las Vegas personally, and I do have the Patriots remaining in the playoff hunt, winning this game and covering. This is another spread that was a pick'em last night. I would imagine New England is slight favorites after their win, so I think New England wins this game. The coaching mismatch, Bill Belichick versus McDaniels, is so sizable. I have to take New England, even though they are on the road. Mac Jones plays better on the road. Next, we have Tennessee traveling to the Chargers. And to me, this is just a horrible matchup for Tennessee. I think this is a game with Justin Herbert. He played so well on Sunday night. The touchdowns really don't show for it. He threw for like 400 yards and only had 1 touchdown. I think this game, the Chargers are due for a blowout victory. They're playing better on offense. Tennessee just does not have the overall explosiveness to keep up with an offense, especially on the road, like the Chargers. Give me the Chargers in this one big, 31-17. They're going to cover the 3-point spread. The 425 game, it is Cincinnati traveling to Tampa Bay. So this could be like Tom Brady's last stand here in terms of, what's going on this year. They've been so bad. They need to win this game. But guys, I just don't see it. Cincinnati is playing too well. We saw it against Cleveland. We saw it against Kansas City. Joe Burrow is really turning and showing people that he is legitimately a top 5, maybe top 6 quarterback at this point in the NFL. No questions asked. His rapport with Jamar Chase is amazing, and that offense is really playing well. Based on how well Cincinnati's offense is playing compared to Tampa Bay's, there's just no way I can take Tampa Bay, even if they are the best value, plus the 3.5 at home. I just can't do it right now. Tom Brady getting crushed by a third-string rookie quarterback. That is just not a good situation. Moving to the Sunday night game, it is the Giants at the Commanders. So a few weeks ago, we saw this game, and I was shocked that the Commanders were 3-point favorites on the road. I said take the Giants +3. The game ended in a tie. Guys, I am just not buying the Commanders, especially -4.5. They just don't have the offense to me. The Giants, yes, they got crushed last week. It is what it is. It happens in the NFL. You get crushed 1 week, you come back and you win the next week. I have the Giants winning this game outright on the road, Sunday Night Football. I'm guessing this game got flexed to Sunday night because there's no way they would schedule this before the season on Sunday night. But the Giants winning this one 21-19. I understand the Commanders getting more healthy and stuff, but I don't know, guys. I just don't think they're good value. -4.5 against the Giants at home. And then finally, the Monday night game. Boy, I'm sure they're wishing they could have flexed this one out. But maybe Baker Mayfield. Maybe Baker Mayfield is the draw in this game. It is the Rams at the Packers. So as fun as, the Thursday night game was, how about Baker Mayfield? Comes to LA basically the first day. He's starting Thursday night. His next game is on Monday night. Back-to-back primetime games. It's amazing. I'm going to be rooting for Baker because it's just a hilarious story. But if I have to be real about this prediction, you've got a Green Bay team. Aaron Rodgers really hasn't been as bad as people have kind of made it out to be. He's still got like 22 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. They've still got a really good running game. They're getting healthier coming off the bye week. I've got Green Bay winning this game easily at home, facing a dome team in cold weather. The Rams offense is going to get shut down. And as fun as that Thursday night game was, the Rams had 3 points into the fourth quarter in that one. So, they had the great comeback, but they were losing and getting crushed throughout most of it. I will take Green Bay to cover the 7.5-point spread. I don't like those spreads, when they're 7.5, but I will take Green Bay. So either way, guys, those are my official NFL Week number 15 picks and predictions. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.